For most of human history, cats were never truly ours. They lived beside us, ate our food, slept in our homes. And yet, they never belonged to us in the way dogs did. But here's the strange part. Cats didn't fail to be domesticated. They simply never needed to be. To understand why, you have to go back to a time before cities, before civilization, when survival itself was uncertain. Around 10,000 years ago, the world was changing. Humans were no longer just wandering hunter-gatherers. In scattered regions across the planet, something new was happening. Agriculture. Small human settlements began forming, storing grains, building primitive homes, and staying in one place. And with them came a problem. Where there is stored food, there are rats. Thousands of them. They came silently, multiplying in the dark, consuming entire harvests, spreading disease, turning survival into a constant battle against something small, fast, and nearly unstoppable. Humans were not built for this kind of enemy. Too slow to catch them. Too blind in the dark. Too inefficient to hunt something that lived in walls, shadows, and silence. But nearby, something else noticed. Small wildcats. Solitary hunters, built for precision. Silent, patient, perfectly adapted to hunt the exact creatures humans could not. At first, they stayed at the edges. Watching. Waiting. And then, slowly, they moved closer. Not for humans. For the rats. This was the hidden opportunity. A human settlement wasn't just shelter. It was a concentrated ecosystem of prey. A buffet. The bold cats crept in. The overly aggressive ones were chased off. The most adaptable, calm, observant, cautious stayed just close enough. Close enough to hunt. But not close enough to depend. And this is where everything diverged from dogs. Rats failed because they were predictable. They followed food, reproduced rapidly, overwhelmed systems, but they couldn't adapt fast enough to a specialized predator. Cats survived because they didn't need to change much at all. They were already perfect. Already efficient. Already independent. So instead of humans shaping cats, cats simply selected an environment that benefited them. Over time, something almost invisible began to shift. Without anyone realizing it. The cats that tolerated human presence thrived. Not because humans fed them, but because humans attracted their prey. Generation after generation, the least fearful cats stayed closer. The most aggressive avoided humans and lost access to this endless food source. Slowly. Quietly. Cats began to shift. But only just enough. Unlike dogs, they didn't evolve to serve humans. They evolved to ignore them. Modern science confirms this. Genetic studies show that domestic cats are nearly identical to their wild ancestors. Unlike dogs, which show deep physical and behavioral changes, cats remain almost unchanged. Even today, a house cat can survive in the wild with shocking ease. Because biologically, it never left. And as this relationship continued, something powerful emerged. A feedback loop. Rats fed on human grain. Cats hunted rats. Humans benefited from fewer pests. And without meaning to, humans began protecting the cats. Not training them. Not breeding them intentionally. Just tolerating them. And that was enough. The loop intensified. More grain. More rats. More cats. Fewer losses. More grain. No contracts. No commands. Just mutual advantage. And then we jump to today. There are over 600 million domestic cats in the world. They live in our homes. Sleep on our furniture. Knock things off tables for no reason. But look closely. They don't fetch. They don't obey. They don't seek approval the way dogs do. They coexist. And that difference is everything. Psychologically, cats tap into something very different in the human brain. They are unpredictable. Independent. Selective in their affection. Which makes every moment of attention feel earned. Not guaranteed. And that triggers something powerful. Humans don't just bond with cats. We become fascinated by them. Obsessed, even. Because the connection feels rare. And rare feels valuable. But there's a cost. Cats never fully integrated into human systems the way dogs did. They remain hunters. Even well-fed house cats kill billions of birds and small animals every year. Their independence is not harmless. It's simply unmanaged. And even inside your home, the ancient instincts remain. The slow stalking. The sudden pounce. The midnight bursts of energy. The fixation on movement. Your cat isn't playing. It's rehearsing. Because deep down, nothing has changed. And that's the bigger story. Cats didn't become part of human civilization the way dogs did. They ran parallel to it. They walked beside us as we built farms, cities, empires. Never fully controlled. Never fully dependent. And maybe that's why they feel so different. Dogs joined humans. Cats allowed humans to exist in their world. Right now. Somewhere near you. A cat is probably sleeping. Curled up. Still. Peaceful. But inside that small, quiet body is the same predator that once moved through ancient fields under the cover of darkness? Watching. Waiting. Perfectly capable of surviving without you. And maybe that's the real reason cats were never truly domesticated. Because unlike every other animal we've shaped, cats never needed us enough to change.